Hi everyone, and welcome to May's Crochet. Happy Friday, or whatever day it is you're watching this on. I don't know, not my business. But anyway, last week, I was just minding my own business on YouTube, scrolling through, and I came across a channel called Diving Ducks Crochet because this was recommended to me. I was tempted. Oh, I was very, very tempted. And I was like, no, I don't need it. Don't need this in my life. No. But then I also saw that she had this, and so I did the responsible thing and I walked away and I didn't think about it anymore. I'm just kidding, we have a video, so obviously I didn't do the responsible thing. I ran straight to the yarn store and I decided to take her 2 squares and make them the pockets of a granny hexi cardi that I am wearing to the movie this Saturday on a date night with my husband. Despite the fact that it's late July and I'm going to be sweating to death, I'm going to look good, damn it. Anyway, so let's look back at the week as I make this cardigan in time to get it out today on the release day of the movie. Even though I think a lot of people saw it last night, I don't understand release dates anymore. But enjoy.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
So I started this last Saturday. Now I meant to start earlier in the day, but I was very tired. So I had done an intro and everything, but it wasn't clicking for me. So here we are in voiceover mode. We've decided to go ahead and start on the Wolverine side. I am a Wolverine girl through and through. Like, look, I like Ryan Reynolds. I've never been a huge Deadpool fan, but if you're going to throw Wolverine in the mix, I am 100% there. So here we are working on the Wolverine square because we had a company picnic for my husband to go to later in the evening. The goal was to get the square done, the base of the square, so like the yellow circle, the white squared off part, and then the blue outline done before we had to leave. And I'm like, if I can get that done, I have made some great progress. And so I worked on it diligently for a little while, but it was feeling a little big, especially when I had to do a double, triple crochet stitch. Never done that one before, but pretty easy to figure out. Because my goal was a cardigan that was it's going to be in the granny hexagon style. So I'm thinking maybe 20 rows out, and this is starting to feel much bigger proportionally to 20 rows than it needs to be. I used a 4-weight acrylic yarn, just like the tutorial, but I went with a 5mm hook, even though she had a 4.5, and I'm like, it's not going to be that big of a deal, but it's big. I'm still plowing through at this point. I'm like, okay, let's go with the blue yarn as the outline. And once I get that on, I will make a decision whether or not I'm going to keep this or not. And once again, math is my downfall. I should have just folded the square in half to start in the middle for this round with a long tail, so that when I went to sew it onto the sweater later, many days later, I would have an equal amount on both sides and I could get it more even. It is far too big. I think it ended up being 10.5 inches. I decided to scrap it for that night, started over the next day, and then I just started on the sweater part 2 rounds. So we are on to Sunday night. It has been a long day of laundry and cleaning bathrooms. I restarted the square with a 3.5mm hook. Thankfully, since the previous square was too big, I could just reuse all the yarn. I had plenty extra, and it is now very late. I have done the base of the square. I'm cutting it off now, and I'm continuing with the sweater. Blue is very much the dominant color to me because blue is just darker than yellow, even though I know his dominant color is yellow. Whatever, it's just how my brain works. I'm sure there are others out there. So I started with the blue on the inside. I'm alternating every 2 rounds, and I am not cutting the yarn, so I don't have as many ends to weave in, and I have 10 rows Sunday night. We are on to Monday morning. If the lighting is weird, it's because a storm was a-coming, and I had my blinds open in my craft room like I normally do during the day. So I've decided that this is the time to really get down and finish up the Wolverine square by doing the mask. Of course, I'm working with black yarn against my black shirt. Brilliant, like really just an absolute stroke of genius on a Monday morning. Clearly the coffee was not working, but here we are, me looking at the clouds like, oh, I hope we don't lose power, because we've lost power quite a few times this summer. And there's my husband having to go in because the rain came a couple hours early, and I was laughing at him, but he was outside working on landscaping. We are later in the day after the rainstorm. I am a child, clearly, putting on my Wolverine eyes, and I am getting them sewn on. This is always really hard for me when I have two things that I have to sew on evenly, because I will always get one of them right. Just one. That's it. And I had to do it 2 times. First with the black mask pieces, and then with the whites of the eyes. And it could be the second one that looks better. It could be the first one that looks better. But I feel like I always have to undo one of them and try again. So I never end up weaving in the ends and tying things off until I am 100% satisfied that they match up the way they are supposed to. I think I had to redo the second black piece on his mask before I could cut things off, but I finally got it. And now we're on to the whites of the eyes. Again, I think it was the second piece this time that threw me for a loop. But you know what? I got it in the end. And I'm not great at doing the sewing part. It takes a lot more time and practice, but I eventually get there, and I have weaved in the ends, and my Wolverine square is done. It is time to finish working on that side of the sweater, or at least keep going. I don't even know at what point I'm in. Oh, here's my husband. He just finished a meeting he had, but it was a Zoom call, so he wore his suit top and tie with his cargo shorts. And then we decided it's time to walk the dog and move on to watching Deadpool 2, doing our homework. Crystal clear picture in the dark basement.
I have a gluten sensitivity. A glass of wine, I just... Yeah.
And after Deadpool 2, we are back on the sweater. Not going to get finished tonight. It's Monday night at this point, but we're going to keep going. We still have several days, and we are very, very close. So my goal was to do 18 rounds all the way around and end with the blue so that the blue would touch at the shoulder. I know it's weird. Like, that's just how my brain works with dominant colors. And I know I'm not alone. I know some of you are out there and understand what I'm talking about. And if you don't, well, you're lucky. Tired. Monday's done. And now we are on to Tuesday morning. I am wearing my blue and yellow to harness the power of the Wolverine to get this side of the damn sweater finished at this point. I'm like, it's Tuesday. We got to get this moving. I am not even kind of close, but here we are. I have done 20 rounds. No, I've done 18 rounds, finishing off with the blue, and then I'm going to seam it up at the shoulder to make the sleeve. Again, I carried the yarn up through all of the rounds so that I only had to weave in the ones at the beginning. So far, I will obviously have to weave in more, but I'm deciding if I want to cut it off, and I do. I decided I wanted to cut it because I didn't want to have it attached as I did the rest of everything I needed to do. I go back in for around 2 rounds of gold or yellow, 19 and 20, but it's not going to be as much because I don't have that shoulder and the end of the sleeve. So it's only half of what I was doing before on the hexagon. It's only 3 sides at this point, just to extend it in the middle and the back, the front and the back in the middle, I guess. And it's looking good. I'm kind of trying to see where the pocket will go, and I think it'll work. It's going to be a little more cropped, but now obviously I am packing up a bag to take with me because somebody has dance and I am their ride, which means I'm going to have to crochet. And here I am at the studio getting the Deadpool square started. Just a black circle. Now black circle with red around it. Pretty simple, actually, all things considered. But looking good so far, and we are back home. For some reason, I've decided to show you all the yarn I have to wind up from the blue and yellow, now that I don't have to worry about that until I continue the sleeves later. I don't know why. Here I am winding, entangled, because I still have too much yarn to wind up, and Klaus makes an appearance. And he leaves as soon as I pick him up. Typical cat, you know? So winding the blue. I had about 9 ounces of a 1 pound skein left after all those rounds, cleaning up my workspace and continuing on with the Deadpool square. In theory, this one is simpler, and I am determined to knock it out this Tuesday night because I just have this line down the middle and then the 2 eyes to do. It's really not that hard, but it's more based on my determination and will to get it done, because I know it's Tuesday and in my head I have this done by Thursday afternoon so I can edit the video. Spoiler alert, it does not happen. Absolutely not. But I am now working on the eyes. She, in her tutorial, had the eyes for both of them kind of like crescent moons. I decided to do that with Wolverine, but for Deadpool, I decided to go full oval because I just think of that more, that shape for his eyes whenever I think of his mask. And here we have the Deadpool square completely finished off. Looking pretty good, gotta admit. Eyes are a little big, but that's okay. So now it's time to start the sweater half part and going in with black again. That's the dominant color for me compared to the red. So I start with the black on the inside. But unfortunately, I am very tired and I'm trying to get the red attached and it's not working out for me. Trying to get it attached to where I can carry the black color up, which is difficult. It's not working out. I quit. Goodbye Tuesday. It's now Wednesday. I'm at the orthodontist with kid 1. I did work on it earlier in the morning and get some done, and now we're at dance with kid 2. Just, wherever you can fit it in sometimes. That's the best you can do. Just working on that second half of the sweater, the body of the sweater for the Deadpool side. And it's coming along. I'm finally at the point where I can seam up the arm. So I'm 18 rows in on the black. Sometimes it's hard to remember where you put that seam. And I had a little bit of a struggle, but clearly I got it done. And we're going in with the red to finish off 19 and 20. Just to add a little more width around, but no length. Well, a little bit of length, but not a lot of length. Not a lot of length, no more length, or no more width to the sleeve. Yeah, that's the point. That's why we cut it off a little early, so the sleeves don't end up too wide. But here we have that half, and I am clearly tired. It is now Thursday morning, even though I'm still wearing the same clothes. I slept in them. Whatever. I don't care. And we are done with both halves to the point where we can seam them up down the back. However, I'm going to add some ribbing around the front and bottom to add more width before I lengthen the sleeves, because I don't want the sleeves too long. And the ribbing adds a couple extra inches. I do slip stitch in the back loop. And in this case, I'm doing 5. I'm now wearing red and black, like I wore blue and yellow a couple of days before. Red and black to harness the power of Deadpool to get this thing done. I am so over it at this point, but I'm in it and I got to get it done. So I am on to the black ribbing. Clearly I've done the blue. Looks pretty good. Look how I got that straight down the middle. Oh, beautiful. So proud of me. Yes. And we're back at dance, but just for a pickup, waiting for a few extra minutes, but not sitting in there for the whole time. And it is now Thursday night. It is very late. I am finishing the ribbing and sewing in ends. And here we have a try on. It is time to check the sleeve length. And I believe I need 8 to 12-ish rounds on each side to lengthen the sleeves to my desired length. Spoiler alert, it ends up being 10. So nice little average there, I suppose. And here's the length I want, but now it's too wide. I don't like the bell sleeves. It's not for me. So I actually reduce the number of stitches. I go in and do a decrease all the way around. And I actually get it wrong. Sometimes it takes a little practice. I'm not 100% sure, but the first time I did 1 round of all decreases, so cut it absolutely in half, and then did 1 single crochet and then decreases. Didn't work out. Didn't know that till I got the ribbing done. Went back in after pulling it apart and did 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So not quite as many decrease stitches, and then did the ribbing. Worked out much better. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. Fortunately, I don't have the energy to do the Wolverine side on Thursday night, so we are waiting till Friday morning. And now I am doing the rest of the rounds to lengthen that sleeve into 10 rounds. Gotta let somebody in, cat or dog, cat waving at a kid, eating breakfast. And continuing with the Wolverine sleeve, again, 10 rounds in groups of 2, apparently, obviously, just to match the rest. Cutting the yellow, which means it is time to decrease with the blue, and then do the ribbed cuff all the way around, which is right there. Thankfully, I didn't have to figure it out because I already figured it out on the Wolverine side. I'm sorry, I already figured it out on the Deadpool side, so the Wolverine side was much easier to do. Weaving in ends. And that is a sweater that is almost done. Now, I decided to spice up the squares with a little LFG. If you know, you know. Not great at embroidering on crochet, but I thought I'd give it a shot. Not 100% sure I love it. It's always easy to fix and take off later if I want to. Now I am sewing the squares on for my pockets, because that was the whole point in the first place, right? Finishing up with the Wolverine side, and we are doing the final snip. Look how happy she is. Oh, yes. We are done. I have a massage tomorrow. Yay. I did it. I finished it. So there were some surprising things. I thought the ribbing was going to take forever, and it didn't. And I thought the sleeves, extending the sleeves and doing the cuff would be quick, and it wasn't. But I got it done. I actually haven't finished editing anything yet. Well, that's not true. I'm up to like Tuesday night's video of editing, whenever that was, like after starting the Deadpool square, I think. Anyway, but I wanted to get this done while I had some good daylight, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but I don't have a ceiling light in here, and everything is just lamps, and it can be hard to work with at certain times. So I wanted to get the beginning and the end of the video done so I could just edit it all together later, because I have to go to the vet. Well, I don't have to go to the vet. My dog has to go to the vet, but she needs a ride, so I have to go do that, and then I'll finish editing and uploading later. And don't forget to go check out Diving Ducks Crochet, because if it were not for her 2 tutorials, I would not be here in this video. So go check her out. I've linked both videos below. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this very rushed journey, more than that bag, I would say, from a few weeks ago. But I know this isn't like the best way to showcase it. I'm going to be wearing it tomorrow night when I go to the movie with my husband. I will just have on like a little black dress, not like a little black dress, but just a very casual black dress and some chucks, and I will take a picture and post it on the community tab, so subscribe if you want to see that. I'm also going to go ahead and post it on Instagram. I started an Instagram account for this. I don't know why. I forget that I did, and I've only posted like 2 things to kind of backlog what I've already done. But I will try to remember to post it there. It'll probably be Sunday. So if you want to see the full fit, it'll be a couple of days. But anyway, again, thanks for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment, all the YouTube things. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.